You felt it, haven't you? That heavy, suffocating weight finally lifting off your chest. For years, you carried the burden of being the bridge. You were the one reaching out, the one over-explaining, the one holding the fragments of dying relationships together with nothing but your own sheer will and bleeding heart. But something shifted. A silent command was issued from the depths of your soul, and you finally stopped. You stopped forcing the connections that were never meant to hold your light. You stopped chasing people who were running away from their own shadows. And in that moment of letting go, you didn't fall. You exhaled. Right now, as you sit in this new silence, you are experiencing a peace that feels almost foreign. It's a quietness that used to terrify you, but now it feels like sanctuary. You are realizing that the loneliness you feared was actually just the absence of noise. For the first time in your life, your nervous system isn't on high alert, scanning for the next rejection or the next misunderstanding. You've noticed the physical symptoms of this release. Perhaps the tension in your jaw has dissolved. Maybe that chronic tightness between your shoulder blades, the place where you carried the weight of others' expectations, has finally begun to soften. Your sleep is different now. It is no longer a temporary escape from the exhaustion of being too much for the wrong people. It is a true restoration. You are witnessing the great pruning. You look at your phone and realize it hasn't buzzed in hours or even days, and instead of the old panic, the old "what is wrong with me?" there is a profound sense of, finally I am free. You are no longer performing. You are no longer auditioning for a place in circles that were designed to keep you small. You've stopped being the unpaid therapist, the emotional punching bag, and the secondary character in everyone else's drama. Can you feel the frequency changing in your home? The air feels thinner, lighter, as if the ghosts of toxic conversations have finally evaporated. You used to think that forcing it was a sign of your strength, your loyalty, and your capacity to love. You thought that if you just prayed harder, spoke clearer, or gave more of your energy, they would finally see you. They would finally value the treasure you are. But the divine has pulled your hand back. You were told to be still. This relief you feel is the sound of your soul returning to its natural rhythm. You are no longer vibrating at the frantic pace of the world. You have stepped out of the matrix of reciprocity where you give 10 and receive 0. You are entering the season of the void. It is a holy space. It is a vacuum created by God to see what you will do when you are no longer distracted by the needs of the ungrateful. You might feel a slight sting of grief, a phantom pain for the version of you that tried so hard. That's okay. That grief is just the ego mourning its old identity as the fixer. But look deeper. Look at your hands. They are no longer bruised from knocking on closed doors. Look at your throat. It is no longer sore from screaming into the void of people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have entered the era of divine indifference. It's not that you hate them, it's that you no longer have the energy to care about their perception of you. The relief is the realization that you are enough, even if no one is there to witness it. You are finally standing in your own center, and for a chosen one, this is the most dangerous and powerful place you can be. This relief you are feeling is not a coincidence. It is not merely a psychological shift or a phase of growing up. No, what you are experiencing is a radical realignment of your spiritual DNA. The reason you could no longer force those connections is that your frequency has become incompatible with the low vibrational static of the world. You must understand that as a chosen one, your energy is a currency of the highest kingdom. For years, you were unknowingly spending that currency on people who were spiritually bankrupt. You were pouring gold into bottomless pits, and the divine has officially closed your account to those entities. There is a spiritual law at play here, the law of resonance. You cannot inhabit a space with those who are committed to the dark when you are becoming the light. When you stopped forcing those connections, you weren't giving up. You were obeying a celestial mandate. The universe began to amplify the friction in those relationships until the heat became unbearable. Every argument, Every cold shoulder and every moment of being ghosted was actually a divine intervention. It was the hand of the Creator creating a protective barrier around your aura. You were being rejected by the world because you were being redirected to your purpose. Think about the mechanics of what was happening. When you force a connection with a person who is vibrating at a lower density, you are essentially tethering your soul to a lead weight. Every time you reached out to someone who didn't value you, you were creating a cord of energetic leakage. These people, narcissists, energy vampires, and those deep within the matrix, were feeding off your light. They didn't love you. They loved the way you made them feel about themselves. They loved the hit of high-frequency energy they got every time you tried to fix them or please them. By stopping the force, you have cut the supply line. You have starved the shadows that were clinging to your brightness. You are currently in a state of spiritual convalescence. You are recovering from years of energetic theft. This is why you feel a strange sense of emptiness that is simultaneously peaceful. The spiritual cause of your fatigue was never your workload. It was the leakage caused by trying to bridge the gap between heaven and hell in your personal relationships. You were trying to bring people into your light who were fundamentally designed to remain in the dark for this stage of their journey. You were interfering with their lessons, and in doing so, you were delaying your own. The divine has placed you in a spiritual Sabbath. This is a period of mandatory rest where your field is being recalibrated. You are being purged of the false empathy that kept you bound to toxic cycles. False empathy is the belief that you are responsible for someone else's emotional state or spiritual growth. It is a trap set by the enemy to keep the chosen ones distracted and depleted. By removing your hand from the situation, you have handed the reins back to the universe. You have finally admitted that you are not the savior. You are the witness. You must realize that your presence is a judgment. When you stand in your truth without forcing or begging, your very existence highlights the lack in others. This is why it became so uncomfortable to stay. Your light was burning in their eyes. The relief you feel is the sensation of your wings finally unfolding because the cage door has been left open and you finally decided to walk out. You are no longer trying to convince the blind to see the sun. You are simply becoming the sun. The spiritual cause of this shift is your promotion. You have passed the test of the people pleaser, and now you are being initiated into the rank of the sovereign. Do not be deceived by the sudden silence from those you once moved mountains for. While you are basking in the relief of your newfound sovereignty, the enemy is in a state of absolute frantic chaos. You must understand the mechanics of the matrix you have just unplugged from. To the narcissists, the takers, and the energetic parasites that populated your old life, you are not a human being. You were a power source. You were the battery that kept their fragile egos running. When you stopped forcing the connection, you didn't just walk away. You caused a total blackout in their reality. Observe the reaction of the world around you. Have you noticed the check-in texts that feel like bait? The subtle provocations on social media? The sudden emergencies from people who haven't asked how you were in 3 years? This is the matrix attempting to re-establish the cord. They are terrified because they can no longer predict your movements. For years, you were predictable. They knew exactly which button to press to get a reaction out of you. They knew that if they ignored you, you would work harder. They knew that if they criticized you, you would shrink. But now your indifference has made you invisible to their control mechanisms. Your silence is a frequency they cannot tune into, and it is driving them to the point of madness. The enemy's reaction is rooted in a deep, primal fear of your autonomy. When a chosen one stops forcing, they become a glitch in the system. You are no longer participating in the scripted drama of abuser and victim, or giver and taker. By choosing peace over proximity, you have stripped them of their mirrors. See, these people used you to reflect a version of themselves that was good, kind, and worthy. As long as a high vibrational being like you was trying to love them, they could convince themselves they were lovable. Now that you have withdrawn your light, they are forced to sit in the dark with their own rot. They are seeing themselves clearly for the first time, and they hate what they see. You might hear whispers of a smear campaign. They will call you cold, unstable, or arrogant. They will tell the world that you've changed, and for once they are telling the truth. You have changed. You have mutated beyond the reach of their manipulation. The narcissists in your life are currently experiencing narcissistic injury because they realize that their supply has developed a backbone of celestial steel. They are scared because they know deep down that without your intercession, they have no direct line to the divine. They were living off the overflow of your grace. Now the tap is dry. Notice how they try to project their guilt onto you. They will try to make your relief look like selfishness. They want you to feel bad for finally feeling good. This is a desperate attempt to lower your vibration back down to their level because they cannot climb to yours. They are like drowning spirits trying to pull the lifeguard under, but you have learned to swim away. You have realized that you cannot save someone who is in love with the bottom of the ocean. Their fear is your confirmation. Every time they lash out, every time they try to guilt trip you, and every time they spread a lie about your character, take it as a badge of honor. It is proof that you are no longer under their jurisdiction. You have moved into a fortified city of the spirit where their arrows cannot reach. They are reacting this way because they know the power shift is permanent. They see the glow returning to your skin and the clarity returning to your eyes, and they know they can never dim that light again. You have reclaimed your throne, and from that height, their tantrums look like nothing more than dust in the wind. You have won the war of wills by simply refusing to fight. This stillness is not a void. It is a laboratory of the divine. You must understand the deeper metaphysical truth behind why this is happening now. We are living in a time of the great separation, a cosmic filtering process where the wheat is being pulled away from the chaff. For decades, the universe allowed you to dwell among the wolves, testing your discernment and tempering your spirit like iron in a furnace. But that season of testing has concluded. The relief you feel is the signature of a soul that is finally aligned with divine law. You have moved from the law of effort into the law of grace. In the higher realms, there is a blueprint for your life that requires absolute purity of environment. You cannot build a celestial temple on a foundation of shifting sand and toxic debris. God's plan for you is so massive, so expansive, and so heavy with glory that the people you were trying to force connections with would have been crushed by the weight of your destiny. They weren't just not right for you, they were structurally incapable of surviving the atmosphere of your future. The universe had to remove them, or rather, it had to make you so uncomfortable that you would finally remove yourself. You were the one holding on to the anchor of a sinking ship, and the divine had to burn the rope to save the sailor. There is a prophecy written over your life that speaks of a remnant. You are part of a specific lineage of souls who are here to anchor a new frequency on this planet. To do this, you must be unencumbered. Every time you forced a connection with a matrix entity, you were essentially trying to bring a piece of the old world into the new kingdom. It cannot be done. The laws of the universe are precise. What is dead must stay with the dead. By letting go, you are finally honoring the sanctity of your own energy. You are acknowledging that you are a steward of the divine light, and a steward does not throw pearls before swine. The truth that you are now discovering is that your isolation was never a punishment. It was an invitation to intimacy with the source. When the noise of the crowd dies down, the voice of the Creator becomes a roar. You are beginning to receive downloads, insights, and creative visions that were previously blocked by the static of other people's drama. This is the specific prophecy for your life. You will find that as you stop forcing, things start flowing to you. The people who are actually meant for your soul, your true tribe, your divine counterparts, cannot find you if you are constantly surrounded by the wrong energy. You had to clear the field so the true harvest could grow. You are witnessing the fulfillment of the promise that says, I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. The locusts were the narcissists, the takers, and the distractions that devoured your time and vitality. But the restoration cannot happen until you stop inviting the locusts back to the table. This relief is the seal of the Spirit upon your heart, confirming that you are finally on the right path. You are no longer a wanderer, you are a pioneer. You are walking the narrow path that leads to life. And though it may be lonely for a moment, it is the only path that leads to the throne. The universe is not interested in your niceness. It is interested in your wholeness. You have spent a lifetime being nice to people who were cruel to you, thinking it made you holy. The deep truth is that holiness is the courage to walk away from what is unholy. It is the strength to say, I love you, but I love God more, and I love my peace more than I love your company. By stopping the force, you have finally put the Creator back at the center of your life. And the relief is the sound of the universe exhaling in satisfaction because its child is finally home. Now we must seal this frequency. We must anchor this relief into the very marrow of your bones so that you never again feel the urge to crawl back to the tables where you are not being fed. The practical path forward is simple, yet it requires the discipline of a spiritual warrior. You must guard your gates. Your eyes, your ears, and your energy field are now sacred ground. Do not check the profiles of those you've left behind. Do not ask common friends how they are doing. Do not test the waters to see if they've changed. To look back is to invite the old heaviness to settle on your shoulders once again. Ground yourself in the present moment. Feel the floor beneath your feet, in the air in your lungs, and realize that in this moment, you are safe, you are whole, and you are no longer being hunted. As you move through your days, practice the art of the void. When the impulse to reach out or to explain yourself arises, breathe into it and wait. Let the impulse pass like a cloud. You will find that on the other side of that temporary discomfort is a massive surge of power. Every time you choose not to force a connection, you are reclaiming a piece of your soul that was scattered in the wind. You are becoming a magnet rather than a hunter. This is the activation of your magnetic north. From this day forward, you are moving from a state of doing into a state of being. You are the prize. You are the destination. You are the light that others must rise to meet. Let us seal this transition with a prayer of activation. Close your eyes and feel the warmth in your heart center. Divine Creator, source of all light and truth, I thank you for the gift of this relief. I thank you for the strength to let go of the hands that were pulling me down. I officially renounce the contract of the fixer and the people pleaser. I break every ungodly soul tie and every energetic cord that has drained my vitality. I call my energy back from every person, every place, and every timeline where I forced myself to fit. I declare that my peace is non-negotiable and my solitude is a sanctuary. I am no longer available for one-sided connections or the crumbs of affection. I am a chosen one, a child of the Most High, and I stand in the fullness of my sovereignty. I ask that you fill the empty spaces in my life with your presence and that you bring forth my true divine tribe in your perfect timing. I am protected, I am seen, I am free, and so it is. If you feel this shift in your spirit, if you can feel the heavy chains finally hitting the floor, I want you to claim this message. Type "I claim my relief" in the comments to anchor this energy into the physical realm. This is not just a comment, it is a spiritual contract. Subscribe to this frequency and join the remnant of souls who are no longer willing to settle for less than divine alignment. The weight is gone, the struggle is over. You have stopped forcing, and now, for the first time in your life, you are actually living. Go in peace, chosen one. The universe has taken over the wheel, and your only job is to enjoy the scenery. You are loved beyond measure. We will speak again in the next frequency.